Hey everyone, it's Christine here. Welcome to my channel and welcome to 3 things to know about this full moon in Capricorn. We're going to briefly just review what this full moon's about before going into the 3 things to know about. This full moon in Capricorn is occurring at 21 degrees and 21 minutes in the sign of Capricorn, opposing the sun in Cancer. It's happening this Wednesday, July 16th at 2:37 in the afternoon. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, or New York City for reference. And this full moon, obviously like any other full moon, brings to light a lot of truths, a lot of realizations, culminations, endings. More importantly, I kept hearing big truths and letting go, release. Because it's in the sign of Capricorn, it may not be as emotionally in depth. I wanted to say invested, but in depth, but it's polar sign Cancer. It does bring to mind the dichotomy between what Cancer and Capricorn represents, right? Cancer is, all about the home, nurturing ourselves, taking care of ourselves, our family, ancestors, etc. And then we have Capricorn, which focuses on ambition, on responsibility, on work, and also boundaries. And so what we're going to really come into focus on and learn a lot more during this lunation is whether we have been setting boundaries, especially emotional boundaries, but also physical boundaries and many other types of boundaries, particularly when it comes to our home and work life, our family and career, because those two areas oftentimes can bleed into and towards one another, especially if you do work remotely or home, and even with work-life balance, which is, I think, one of the most discussed topics in the area of family and home and work and career. It really has us take a step back and reconsider, do I have balance in these areas of my life? Does my work life look like how I want it to? What about my family life? Because it allows us to examine whether or not we need to perhaps invest a little bit more emotional time and even personal responsibility in either or. I also kept getting, what's interesting, it's not just about taking responsibility, because I'll get to that in a sec, but I also kept getting a lot of anger when I was meditating and intuiting some of the messages I was getting. And I always want to say, always, always, always follow your own intuition, your own internal guidance, practice discernment. It's really important. But these were the main messages I got. I got a lot of anger, and like I mentioned in one of my weekly energy videos, I kept feeling like I was a volcano. I kept seeing a volcano like wanting to explode. And for me, that signified that there is a lot of resentment, a lot of pent up anger, emotions, feelings that haven't been expressed yet. And I feel like this full moon, it's going to happen because we've had a lot that has been burdening, that has been borne essentially onto our shoulders. And so many of us have been carrying a lot, and we've been feeling that weight. And this full moon is going to be about releasing all of that, letting it go, especially things that you cannot control. That has been another theme, is surrendering. And I haven't gotten into the 3 things to know yet. This is purely about what I wanted to talk about with this full moon, and particularly these themes relating to Capricorn. But there has been a lot of unresolved, unexpressed, perhaps not communicated or misunderstood emotions, feelings, and communications, I should say. And so this full moon is going to bring, I put stark clarity, stark realizations, a shitload of truths. And it could look like receiving messages. I feel like we're going to get messages, whether it's, email, snail mail, text, or messages from our own spiritual team or internal guidance system. We're going to get truths and realizations that we have been dealing with, or we've been asking for a long time. I also got that clarity is coming, and the decision that you may have been confused about, you may have been lacking knowledge, details, or background about, you're going to know within the time of the full moon and 2 weeks after, so on a little before or afterwards. And I heard you'll know, and then you'll let it go. And I feel like that weight in itself, when you have a decision and you don't make it, that causes a huge weight, not just an energetic weight, but also the physical weight you feel that can manifest in your body. Especially, I feel like in the shoulders and the upper back of having to decide what to do. And this is going to look something different for everyone. It could look like making a decision to leave a relationship, a job, whatever it is, you are going to know, because I feel like so many people have been holding on to things that are going to be released, hopefully on their own accords without having tower moments. So let's dive in right now into the 3 things to know. The first thing that I got intuitively was awakening. It's not just a spiritual awakening. I felt that this is a new level, this full moon in Capricorn is bringing a new level of awareness and consciousness to us, especially since we're about a little bit more than halfway through this year, and we're dealing with really stark themes opposing our internal self, our intuition, and then how we represent ourselves on the outside with Capricorn, right? What truly matters to us in these realms in our life? What do we want to take responsibility for, and what are we ready to take responsibility for? Because there's an energy here, an underlying foundation of being intentional, because we can't have it all. And there has been a lot of, I'll just say, empirical research about that. And there have been some people, especially in the field that I used to work in, about having it all, and I don't think you can. And this full moon is really having us come into that awareness. We can't have everything we want in our home life or family life. The same thing with our career and work. There has to be some type of balance. So there's going to be things that are coming to light in these areas that are going to help you define what it is that you truly want, what needs to go, what you need to release, and what you need to realign. And this is all coming intuitively. Second, purging. So I want to be clear, it's not about decluttering, although it can be for some. I'm not really talking about the physical aspects of purging. I'm more talking about purging from within your soul. I would say within the last 3 weeks since the summer solstice, there has been just a repeated theme of a lot of massive healing. And Cancer season is known for this because of the ties to the ancestry lineage and in general, the inner self and nurturing of the soul, right? There's a lot of things that have been coming up that perhaps you did not anticipate, that you did not realize you were going to have to contend with ever again. And you're like, wow, I haven't thought about this in years. People have been triggered a lot. And this was for a reason, because this remembrance, this connection to the past, whether it's to the past life, to an earlier time in your life in this incarnation, right? Like childhood, early adult, teenage, whatever it is, it's meant for you to flush it out of your system, literally to purge it out. And for some people, it's very uncomfortable, because as you feel some of these emotions rise, these feelings and these different wounds come up for healing, it could be very disconcerting. It can cause almost like a disequilibrium in the body. It can come out in many different ways. Anxiety, fear, anger. That's what I've been feeling a lot, not for myself, but from the collective when I intuited these messages. I feel like this full moon, people are going to just explode. And hopefully there's a good way that they can utilize this energy to do so, whether through exercise, through some type of breath work, something to help regulate the psychosomatic energetic flow through the body, because there's a lot that's coming out. I kept getting volcano. So this purging, it's all about releasing it, just being. Sometimes you just have to be, and you're aware of it as you're feeling it, and you don't do anything about it. Finally, the third thing to know about this full moon in Capricorn is your power. It's time to step into your power. And I know this gets thrown around a lot. People are like, what does that mean? What do you do? I'm already in my power, or I'm not really there yet. It's simply about turning on your own light within, not dimming it, keeping it on. It's about knowing how to take personal responsibility for everything that you do, right? Do you know how to take your power back? And that's important, because so many of us, I think, inadvertently, subconsciously, we give away our power to people, places, things, to energies, to time, to other, I'll just say broadly, entities that don't have any business taking our power. They don't have any business keeping our power, but we give it away. This full moon in Capricorn is about recognizing with full awareness, with honesty, and also a lot of compassion and self-love, where it is that we've given our power away. In other words, where did we not take full ownership for our actions? Where did we not account for responsibility in different areas of our lives? Something I wrote here that I channeled: own your shit. Literally own your shit, take full responsibility for it, don't sit in it. Just like you wouldn't allow, hopefully, your pets or your children or your partner or your family to sit in their own shit. And I'm talking physical, like literal shit. Don't sit in your own. Part of, and this is something I want to just spend like a minute into, part of this is really learning to be comfortable with being who you are, with being true to what it is that you're here to do. And this is something many of us are still uncovering, so it's an on-the-go process. Not allowing people to dim our light, because so many people give away their own energy, their own time to a lot of situations, a lot of people that they have no business giving it away to. And I've seen this come up in readings this season, I should say, this Cancer season, and I felt it energetically, and I kept getting this resounding message about turn on your light, keep it on. I'm looking at my notes. Don't give it away. It's about being aware and responsible, because we ourselves are the only ones that can change anything that happens in our lives. We can make excuses, we can self-victimize, we can wallow and wail and keep thinking life is not fair, but that's not going to get us anywhere. It's going to keep us in the position we find ourselves. And I'm not trying to downplay or minimize any traumas or wounds or anything at all. But stepping in your power is very much taking control and taking your energy back, calling it back. The same with your time, really reassessing the people around you, especially your boundaries. Because if anything does not feel right anymore, it's time to let it go. And this full moon is really, really like cleaning it out. It's like opening the door and pushing everything out energetically. And it's going to come out, I feel, like a volcano. I feel like so many people have been dealing with relationships, especially with people that they are not in alignment with, but they're in these relationships because they're comfortable, codependent, they're attached, they're not in love. Very different. And that's a whole nother video. And it warrants emphasis here, because it's very scary to make those changes, but only you can take ownership of that. If you want to change something in your life, if you're looking for true love, you're looking for a meaningful job, or friends that are intimate, that truly are open, authentic, and genuine, there's some reflection there, right? Some self-reflection there. And there's also an element of taking personal accountability and choice. So those are the three elements: an awakening, a purging, and really stepping into your power, that I feel are going to click, almost like a seatbelt, click with this a full moon in Capricorn, and really help us set the stage, almost like prime the foundation for this next cycle that many of us have begun, are currently in the process of beginning, and will begin as we enter later on eclipse season, and we have the Lionsgate portal. So I hope this has helped. I have also posted the full moon and Capricorn readings for each zodiac sign. If you have any comments, questions, let me know down below. I'm happy to always answer and dialogue with you all. And if, of course, this resonated, I would love it if you could like, share, and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up button. And I will see you soon. Wishing you a beautiful and healing full moon. Take care.